Make sure you insert the clip of him talking that shit.
I can't do that on that. I gotta do that on another type of joint. Alright, let's see. What's up, what's up, what's up, what it do? I want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about, although a lot of times they be saying, you know, you don't give certain things attention, then it won't grow. But I don't really care about that right this minute. So, I want to talk about this rat lover. They call itself Up for Debate TV. I want to talk about this rat, John Greshner, who used to be an AB. And while I'm at it, just in case Mike has something to say about my honor or my integrity, because I heard John Greshner kept saying, Mike said, I want to talk about them three things since it's just, you know, we talking content. You dig? Wait, what's up, Slim? G-Man, what's up? What's your opinion on the Carmelo Anthony situation? I ain't even aware of it. But anyway, look here. This Up for Debate TV dude, he a rat lover. He don't got no problem with rats. He love rats. So I don't understand why he's on some type of campaign to say that I'm a rat. So I ain't here to get that too much attention. I will address one issue. For him, for the Up for Debate TV, the rat lover, for the dude John Greshner, who's a bona fide rat, like he's an admitted rat. I don't understand how they can have any type of topic on any type of podcast or YouTube channel talking about who's a rat, as if rats are a bad thing when he's a rat and Up for Debate idolize Alpo. That's like an oxymoron to me. It's like it's not even real. So John Greshner is repeating something that somebody told him. I mean, and to me, I believe that it came from your man Mike on Felons Talk, because he kept saying, Mike told me, Mike said this. Let me tell you something, Mike. I fuck you up, Mike. And John Greshner is in basically he in PC and witness protection all the way in Colorado somewhere. So don't nobody take John Greshner serious. Now, John Greshner went to jail in the 70s, just like Fly went to jail in the 70s. John Greshner don't know a goddamn thing about no Eon Williams. He repeating something that somebody told him, and I believe you told him, Mike. But anyway, he don't know nothing about me, and I have no co-defendants. That come from another cooperating witness from Washington, D.C. that made up a story that I got co-defendants. Bro, if I had some co-defendants that I told on the whole city of Washington, D.C., and every other dude from anywhere in any other city or state that knew me or knew guys that know me, it would be all over the internet. I ain't one of you weird niggas that ain't nobody know me before I got on the internet. That's to make that clear. Now, back to John Greshner. John Greshner never heard of me until he heard of a YouTube. That's why I believe you said it, Mike. And if you said it, then, you know, you incorrect. I'm not going to take this opportunity to call you a whole bunch of dope fiends and ex-meth heads and crack addicts and fuck boys and shit like that. I could do that on another platform. I don't feel like doing that right here. But for sure, John Greshner ain't known for nothing but the body that he caught in Leavenworth, and then what else did he do? The California boy, he's not a commissioner. He's not none of that. He never been none of that, and he was on a dropout yard with a bunch of other rats in California because why? He got to spend the rest of his filthy, trifling life in witness protection. He mad as shit Fly got a compassionate release. He mad as shit he can't get a compassionate release. He mad as shit that when it comes to great ABs, warriors, gladiators, marksmen, when they put the plaques on the wall and they talk about the Burry Mills and the TD Bighams and shit like that,
He mad as shit. They ain't gonna never mention John Greshner and the likes of them because they took his plaque off the wall because he a rat. That's why he was in a corner cell in the back of E-Unit and ADX bar fighting all day. Ain't never did nothing. Ain't never did nothing after he told in Leavenworth. And guess what? He only running around here on podcasts and YouTube because Mike from Felons Talk want to talk about him and have him be relevant. Like it's like, you know, like if they want to compare what I do with Flies and what they do with John Greshner. John Greshner is a rat. He's going to always be a rat. The only thing of value that could ever come from his history of what he did with the AB. So, same people that want to run around and record and screen record all the stuff that John Greshner say, rat, we could change Felon Talk to Rat Talk because Felon Talk is basically what John Greshner is talking about. Rat Talk. That ain't what we talking about when we talking about DC blacks and all this other stuff. And he talking about who's being raped. I'm going to do a whole video on John Greshner for y'all so you can see how John Greshner even admits to running around getting fellatio all over the BOP because the homosexuals sought him out. That's his description of the events. So, tell your man up for Debate TV, he got it wrong again. And once again, he's always compromising not only his manhood, his honor, but his race. He tried to double back and sneak this John Greshner talking about, oh, black people this and white people this. You talking to a white racist rat. And you trying to justify to talk about me or to talk about Fly. You only talking about Fly because Fly is relevant. You wouldn't be stealing somebody else's content because that's not even your content. I thought for a second when somebody told me that they was talking about John Greshner that you actually interviewed John Greshner. Maybe you're trying to get an interview with John Greshner, but you did not interview John Greshner. And John Greshner does not know Eon Williams. He never met an Eon Williams. He all the way in the witness protection section of a Colorado State prison talking about Eon Williams. And I'm like 20, 30 years younger than him. I'm doing something right. I ain't got no co-defendant. You can Google me. That's why they made up fake paperwork. But what you don't need to make fake paperwork up is how big of a rat John Greshner is, how John Greshner was sitting out there in ADX, wouldn't even come out for rec. They had him in a super duper joint in E-Unit, a super duper rat. He a super duper rat. He ain't a regular rat. He a rat that used to be somebody. And he sitting on the internet talking about Eon Williams. He talking like he got real facts. That's how I know it came from you, Mike. Although you probably just repeating somebody. You should have stayed out of my business, Mike. But I ain't gonna say you know a whole bunch of death, Mike. But I know it was you. But you ain't do nothing but tell him something else another rat said. But I'm trying to figure out, is you on rats? I mean, you clearly, like, if I'm interviewing Fly and you interviewing John Greshner, Mike, we clearly in two different playing fields, right? And then I'm trying to figure out this. Think about this, y'all. For the guys like Mike and John Greshner that talk about guys are rapists, what gangster walk around the prison worried about who gonna rape him? So you telling me, Mike, you and John Greshner was running around worried about who was going to rape y'all? That's why y'all had a problem with black. I ain't never thought about nobody raping me. And I went to jail as a kid, 16 years old. So you telling me y'all was walking around Atlanta Penitentiary talking about who was going to rape somebody? I thought y'all was the killer white boys. Then John Greshner sitting up there talking about the up for debate bam keep talking about John Greshner went to jail in the 70s. No, he ain't never been nowhere with Fly but ADX, and in ADX he didn't even come out his cell. Tell Mike and Felons Talk to ask John Greshner about any time he came out his cell in ADX. I know where he was at. He was back there bar fighting with Titus when they was on E-Unit. All he do all day, sell death to Pearl Earlier, and Pearl Earlier beat the shit out of him. Today, at 70 years old, Pearl Earlier beat the brakes off him. Ask the old timers about that. That's all John Greshner did in this old age was sit behind the door, yell and scream about how he was going to slaughter motherfucker. We going to do y'all like we did Cadillac. John Greshner ain't killed shit since the 80s, bro. I will fuck John Greshner up. Tell him that, Mike. And while you at it, Mike, I'll fuck you up. And you know I'll fuck you up. I'm 20 years younger than you. I'll beat the shit out you, Mike. I'll beat the shit out John Greshner. I'll beat the shit out TD Bigham. Talking about some John Greshner, talking about Eon Williams. You don't even know Eon Williams, bruh. You was already washed up by the time I came to jail. John Greshner. What the fuck, bro? You killed one nigga in 80 something, bro. You ain't did nothing, bro. You killed one nigga in Leavenworth for like 86, 83. Fuck out of here. You ain't did nothing since then, bro. You listen. Let me make this clear to people who don't understand. First and foremost, most jailhouse legends, no disrespect, ain't shit on the streets. Okay? Some of them may have a jailhouse legend reputation and a street legend reputation. They may hit the deuces. Then you may have a trifecta where they may be a street legend, a jail legend, and then they changed their life and they became successful. Okay? That's a trifecta. John Greshner, who is a rat, he will never be nothing on the streets. He will never have no legacy on the streets. And even in prison, he's a rat and will forever be a rat. And even in the AB folklore legend, when they talk about the biggest, baddest ABs, they will never talk about him unless they say rat. So, somebody go tell John Greshner why he think he talking slick, why he sitting over there in that cell slowly dying out there in Colorado State somewhere, why he talking to Mike living in the motherfucking extended stay some motherfucking where. Tell him I said, he ain't shit. He a rat. Everybody in the system know he a rat. Now you gonna say, oh, fly rat. Where you heard some shit like that? You don't even know me. I came to jail 25 years after you had already been in jail. You was already thinking about being a rat, bruh. John Greshner. I want to hear none of that shit, bruh. John Greshner is a rat in the Colorado state system. He gonna always be a rat. When they hang the plaques of the ABs up, he don't even have a plaque on the wall no more, bruh. He's not even among the top ABs no more. Dude ran around talking about John Greshner was AB commissioner. He wasn't. He not even from California. The Bama caught his case out of Minnesota somewhere. I know his history. Fuck out of here. You wasn't no true AB. Fuck out of here. What you did by yourself, John Greshner. You killed another white boy in Leavenworth. What you did when it comes to the ABDC black shit. Ask John Greshner that. Somebody tell Mike, somebody hit Mike, tell Eon on here, tell him he got my attention. You said my name? You said my name? You ain't asked John Greshner about how many times we was running around getting that fellatio on the BOP while y'all sitting here promoting this motherfucking propaganda about DC blacks being this and being that. He's sitting up there in that yellow jumpsuit talking about getting cavity searches when the police used to stick their finger in your rectum to see if you bought any contraband back outside. And while he's doing that, he's laughing, talking about getting fellatio from people of other sexual preferences. John Greshner. You ain't asking about none of that, but you asking about all the shit. You gonna sit over there talking about somebody who's a rat. How can a rat in witness protection, the only reason he's not in the BOP is because he's a rat? Now he can have a conversation on a platform about rats. When you Google his name, the first thing you see is informant. That's why Up for Debate talking to him. He know he an informant. He love informants. I can't stand an informant. Now, so look, let me ask y'all a question. Either you AB sympathizers or whatever the hell. What does he mean to me? The only thing that made him important was that when he was in the Fed, he was dangerous. He could sling that knife. Bro, you 70 years old, bro. I will beat you. I'll beat John Greshner to death. So he not even important no more. He a rat. The AB don't love him. The AB don't mean nothing in the feds. Maybe in the state system somewhere the AB means something, but the Fed and the BOP, the AB don't mean nothing. Tell John Greshner that and tell Mike I said that too. And if you was sitting over there talking and you want to talk, Mike, I got 1,000 messages talking about you changed your name because you had a rape case, Mike. Mike Malloy or Malloy, whatever your name is. They send me all your other name, your aliases. You want to sit around and talk? I seen all the messages you said about Fly. We can get it out the way. I don't care, bro. I can get stupid on the internet. I'm 20 years younger than you, bro. I got 20 years of mistakes to make before I'm your age. And I'm a gangster for real. Back then, like, I understand that you supposed to have been a gangster in the 70s, bro. That's 25, bro. We could play laser tag. Mike, you in the real world. Tell John Greshner I said that. Tell John Greshner, he repeating somebody else said. Tell John Greshner that let's talk about how he became a rat. You can't even go nowhere. He one of them niggas that was an ADX that never came out his cell, bro. Even when they had population, John Greshner ain't never, there's no stories of him coming out his cell in ADX. He was in a corner cell in the back of E unit. All he do is yell and scream all day, talking about we gonna kill you like we killed Cadillac. Guess what? John Greshner didn't even kill Cadillac, so he just screaming AB name. What's wrong with y'all, bro? Don't play with me. Go get somebody. Like if I see y'all want to talk about me, y'all want to give me some attention, y'all want me to get some the AB some attention. Go get TD Bigham or one of them niggas that ain't told on nobody. Say don't go no get no John Greshner to say nothing about me. John Greshner a rat. Go get TD Bigham or Snell or Gibson or one of them niggas that showing up was killers. And they ain't rats. They all ADX standing on it. Go get one of them to talk about me. Don't get John Greshner to talk about me. John Gresham can't even go to the feds. The only reason like some niggas get sent out to feds because they too dangerous. He too hot. John wasn't no commissioner. That's that shit he made up. It don't say that in the paperwork. The paperwork don't say he was a commissioner. The paperwork say T.D. Bigham, Barry Mills, and Tommy Silverstein. It don't say John Greshner. Where's that? Show that. Prove that to me. I got the indictment. It don't say John Greshner. It say T.D. Bigham, Barry Mills, and Tommy Silverstein. That's the only names they mention. And then they got some other leaders under them at different times in California and this and that. In that federal indictment, it don't say nothing about no John Greshner. They got the other dude, Wayne Bridgewater, the rat boy, Big Al Benton. I know their names. The boy, the upper debate boy, don't even know the history of it. He couldn't even tell you. If he think that John Greshner know me, John Greshner not only do he not know me, he ain't never been nowhere around me or my generation of Lord niggas. I'm talking about dead people. I'm not talking about dead people. John Greshner not dead, bruh. Your mental is dead. You're like, you ever see that old commercial? How old are you? You ever see that commercial where they got the pan, then they put the eggs in the joint, they start sizzling the eggs. This is your brain on drugs. That's your brain, bro. Your brain is the eggs in the frying pan. Zzz. Come on, bro. Y'all sending me videos talking about John Greshner. John, don't nobody care about John Greshner. John Greshner probably don't even get money orders no more, bro. If he get a money order, that's because Mike sent it to him. Don't nobody care about John Greshner. John Greshner can't even go on a compound in the feds. That's why they got him in some little joint, in some little valley in California, bro. That's a rat. You talking about flying the guy Eon Williams? The only way John Greshner know Eon Williams' name is because of you, Mike. He ain't got access to YouTube. That's why he do his videos on the phone, Mike. Fuck out of here. Don't forget I'm from DC, Mike. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. John Greshner. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that somebody said, I wouldn't have watched the video if somebody ain't tell me, nah, you got to watch this jump. I'm going to go watch the original with whoever the other dude. I see the other dude tried to keep my name out. He said, nah, I want to talk about Fly. John Greshner is mad that he told he's a rat. He will forever be a rat, and he's condemned to die in a cell in a state prison somewhere because he can't even be around the other ABs. At least T.D. Bigham and Barry Mills and Tommy Silverstein, at least they went out ADX and just died like men. Well, T.D. Bigham ain't died yet, but I'm talking about the ones that died. They just went out there and died. John Greshner gonna always be remembered as a rat, bruh. A rat that didn't like Barry Mills. That's all he gonna ever be remembered for. T.D. still alive. He doing phone interviews for packs of noodles. Bruh, he out Colorado smoking cigarette butts. TD ain't going through that. TD still alive on ADX. He just riding with it. John Greshner's a rat. And what did he get out of ratting? The only thing he got out of ratting was probably a couple little extra meals out ADX, some poem books, and then he got sent to Colorado. Now he want to tell on the whole government talking about they planned the ABDC war. He want to write the president and expose. Bruh, the government don't even like rats, bruh. Trump in office now. Trump don't even like rats. Hell out of here, bro. I'm gonna give y'all a history on John Greshner. John Greshner called himself saying something about Fly. Then I heard him say something about he don't care. Fly was Muhammad Ali, the robbery out of McNeil Island and it happened. Let me address that for y'all. Do y'all think that I would report something that I ain't cross-referenced it or fact-checked it? Fly never said he robbed the Mexicans by himself. He said he had a team of about 8 niggas, and if they get the jump on you and niggas got their knives out, who cares what's gonna happen after that? They said it was a humongous knife fight after that. All the prison politics fell in place. And guess who was there? Barry Mills himself was there. You got John Greshner, 70, 80-year-old man, in witness protection, basically, in a Colorado state prison. He ain't never committed no crime in Colorado. He did because he can't be in the feds. Talking about Eon Williams, talking about DC blacks. And guess what? While John Greshner sitting out there in a prison cell doing phone interviews, I'm in Turks and Caicos. I'm in Cabo. I'm in Boca Raton. I'm in Barbados. I'm in Aruba. Tell John Greshner I said that. And I ain't hot. He talking about Eon gave up his co-defendants. How the hell I give up my co-defendants when it said United States of America versus Eon Williams? Eon Williams is the only person that did one single day on the 17 years. And I did time around all the guys from where I'm from that's somebody. He can't be around nobody of his own peer group that is somebody. That's why they got him in Colorado State Prison System. And when they had him in Colorado, all the videos you see, National Geographic, the BBC with John Greshner, they in the dropout, y'all. He was surrounded by rats. He was surrounded by rats. Am I lying? Like, I don't see no haters. Where the haters at? Am I lying? Because now I'm only talking to the people that are, they watch the prison genre on YouTube. They think they know about the DC blacks and the ABs. It's content for me. But John Greshner can't say nothing about me. His whole existence is rat. I don't even know what you mean by that. We ain't talk about no glizzy dude. Did TD tell? Nah, TD ain't tell nothing. I don't know paperwork I got. I ain't heard nothing like that. But Mike, you should have did your own research. Bro, I can't even answer that question. I don't even know what you mean. Angry Muslim or nice Muslim? What that mean? Who you talking? What you getting at, man? I can't answer that question. I ain't here to represent either side of that. I can't believe they got this dude John Greshner talking like he's still like he a certified gangster, bruh. Go sit down and write a book somewhere, man. Talk about how you dropped out, you told on your peoples, and you violated everything that the brand stand for. I don't care that about it. What he gonna do to me? What he do when he was out ADX? He ain't do nothing out ADX, but yell and scream out the door all day. He ain't putting no work in the 90s when all that other shit was going on. You say Mike is a Caucasian. Why you say that? Maybe he illiterate. I don't know. He been in jail 50-some years. I don't think he illiterate. Then another thing that Bama out of the Michigan boy said, he's been in jail since the 70s. He been in jail long as fly. He's been a rat for 20 of those years, maybe more. You can't compare the two. That's apples and oranges, bruh. He didn't even come out the cell in ADX, man, until they put him in the rat block. He can't talk that shit to me. Oh, John Greshner, bruh. Tell John Greshner to go lay down somewhere. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, but I'm gonna go back and find them old videos where he talking about him and his dealings. Come on, man. Every code that you're not supposed to break, he done broke all them codes and he's in there talking. But he wants some attention, he got it.